This is Zeus, day 4 after the fire. What does day 4 after the fire look like for me? I'm going to cover up the microphone. So day 4 of after the fire, it seems as though I've got a great mindset that's come upon me. And the mindset I was thinking about is a teaching that comes from the Course in Miracles, which I would highly suggest. I mean, go from 1 to, and just integrate it in your life. You can do it daily, you can do it hourly, you can do it whatever. Honestly, it's been suggested to do it daily. And the reason why I want to do it daily is extensive work, and your brain is actually reformulating itself. But anyway, as I was getting into it, is the love that I send is the love that I feel. And it's a teaching that is so strong, because that which I give to others is truly the feeling that I have. And there's nothing else that can compare to it, because I truly don't know how other people feel. If someone loves me and I'm always looking for love outside of me, I'm never going to feel it, because it's truly inside, right? The mindset is an interesting thought, because that's all it is, just thinking, right? My imagination is taking care of everything. And then within my now space, how well can I just filter into my now space in order to experience that which I've thought about before? Because the experience is always why I think about things. And sometimes if I'm in a place where my thinking is not, or should I say my experience is not exactly what I want, I can use my imagination to fill in the gaps and overlay what I see. And this is the teaching of, yea, as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Now, the shadow of death is past thought, and in every moment, the thought that you are seeing, because remember, all is thought, then that becomes an integration of what I'm saying, because everything I see is actually past tense. And that's an interesting consideration, and I'd done a study on thought, thinking, and stuff like that, which we all do, in our own way, because truly, Starbucks, baby. I'm over at Irvington. Remember, Starbucks cares. They truly do. I mean, they employ people, and people have fun. And we all love coffee. At least I do. I don't know about anybody else. Anyway, so in respect to thought and the thinking, as we enter into the now, it is a past tense event, and it's also a now event. So now involves both future and past tense, because it's all happening right now, which is a movement based upon quantum physics. And the very beginning, God said that there be light, and then there was light. And so the fractionalization of light is what we see, because everything's moving at the speed of light, which is amazing in that sense that in this light speed that we experience is now what is faster than the speed of light? Well, your thoughts are, because you can think about things in the future, and now you're predestining the actual now moment to reflect. And the reflection will be, sometimes you can't even figure it out, because you know where you're at, and then sometimes what you want to see, they don't always coincide. Like if somebody is on the other side of the planet and you want to feel love, well, how do you get that love? Well, you have to envision that love within yourself. bypassing the now moment. Now the now moment is the only life that you have. Now this is a consideration. Now, as you think about somebody that's a long way from you, there's two types of feelings, and it's like, what do I feel? And that's going to be the predestined moment of the now, because the feeling state is the resonant state of frequency of reception. So I receive what I think about most of the time, and I receive the feeling state that I consider on a continual basis. And excuse my French, I'm multilingual. But you fuck up your now sometimes just in the status of how I'm considering a moment in my mind, and if it's not something that's good, I will translate my now moment into something not good, even if it is a blessing in its own right. I was reading in the book Think and Grow Rich, which I highly suggest, by Napoleon Hill, and it was talking about Edward Barnes, who was actually a fellow that he wanted to work for Edison, and he made a choice, and he basically jumped a freight liner and then rode on boxcar all the way to where Edison was to work for the famous inventor without any clarification, because they didn't have fucking Wi-Fi. They didn't have, I don't even think they had phones at the time. You had to send texts and stuff like that, and how long do you want to wait for a text from somebody that's super famous and you're not famous? Well, he said, fuck it. And he said, I'm going to do it. Now, in the midst of it, his dogged personality type and his desire to work for Edison now opened up the door for his movement, and then everything fell in his favor, and he got hired by Edison at a very nominal wage, and a lot of people would be discouraged by it. But the funny thing is, when desire is placed into a moment, it doesn't matter. What I mean is, it doesn't matter. If I've got a desire and I'm working my hardest to get it, I'm going to get it, and I'm going to translate even the negative into a positive, because that's what he had to do. And that's the funny thing is that sometimes everything's got to be sacked. It's got to be totally taken away so the good can come. That is interesting. The universe hates a vortex. It hates an open space, so it always fills it in with something. And then my translation ability of the moment now becomes my in-state feeling. And my in-state feeling is my reality, and that's what the reflection of vibrates to, because we live in what's called electrical universe. Electrical, what do you mean? Well, it's on multiple stations. Just like a radio signal, you can't pick up 99.6 at 101 FM, right? It just doesn't work, because there's a tuning that has to come into, and your tuning method is your feeling state. And so when I actually hit a feeling state of bliss, then I attach to all things that would give me bliss. And my reception of those things now comes from me. Am I going to accept those points of bliss in my life, or am I going to deny them? And again, in the moment, in the now, which is the only life that you'll ever live, how I feel is the moment and the truth of who I am. It makes no difference about what I think other people do, because it's only about my thoughts about me and about my surroundings and how I feel internally, because internally that is me, and the reflection of is what I see, which is amazing when you consider that. So I just wanted to say, welcome all beings of light, welcome to my now, and I praise you and I bless you, and I send you off. Remember, today is the day of your amazing good fortune. Right now is the day of your amazing good fortune, and if you take that and then you apply it to the steps that you make and the feeling state that you're doing, guess what? I have no idea how good it can get for anybody, but I do know that I've seen things in my own life just blow me away. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't feel as worthy as what I'm getting, but it always falls in my favor. I just have to be okay with my now. Anyway, blessings